The mystery of the abandoned castle in the mountains. The main character and his faithful friends, Emily and Mike, were passionate lovers of exploration and adventure. They had always dreamed of finding an abandoned place that was legendary in their hometown. One day, after much research and investigation, they found references to an abandoned castle deep in the mountains in old archival records. According to the legends, the castle was built in the distant past by a sinister earl who had been banished from the city because of his misdeeds. The castle was said to be cursed, with mysterious events taking place there. Many explorers have tried to find the castle, but no one has ever succeeded. The heroes decided it was the perfect object for their next adventure and decided to go in search of it. After a long and dangerous journey through the mountains, they finally found an abandoned castle standing atop one of the highest mountains. The castle looked majestic but also ominous, with its dark towers, ruined walls, and overgrown windows. They decided to spend the night in the castle and investigate its mysteries the next day. Upon entering the castle, the heroes felt a strange atmosphere of mystery and mysticism. The castle turned out to be full of riddles and conspiracies. Passages were changing places, walls whispered mysterious words, and even the air seemed saturated with magic. The heroes did a lot of research and deciphered ancient records to understand what was going on in the place. During their research, the heroes encountered various trials and dangers. They encountered traps hidden inside the castle and overcame various obstacles to get to the secrets hidden inside the abandoned castle. They discovered hidden underground pathways that led to forbidden areas of the castle, where rumors of sinister creatures and lost souls of former inhabitants were circulating. Gradually, the heroes began to uncover the history of the castle and its curse. They learned that the castle was indeed cursed and that there were dark rites performed behind its walls by a sinister earl. The heroes encountered spirits from the past who began to interfere with them and tried to stop them. They also learned of a terrible secret hidden in the very depths of the castle, and that it could change the course of events in their world. The hero's journey in the abandoned castle was filled with danger, riddles, and mystery. They solved complex puzzles, overcame challenges, and fought sinister creatures to uncover the truth and unravel the mystery of the castle. Their friendship and mutual assistance became the key to successfully overcoming all the difficulties on their way. In the end, the heroes uncovered the truth about the castle's past and dispelled its curse. They found the lost treasure that was hidden inside the castle and used it for the good of their hometown. They also helped the quiet souls who had died in the past to find peace and leave this world. After all the riddles were solved and the mystery of the abandoned castle solved, the heroes returned to their hometown as true heroes, recognized and honored for their exploits. They left the castle behind, but with a heart full of memories of an exciting and dangerous adventure that changed their lives forever. And so ended the story of the mystery of the abandoned castle and the adventures of the heroes, who were able to solve its mysteries and cope with the many difficulties along the way. Their valiant exploits became legendary, and their story became an inspiration to many other adventurers. After their return to their hometown, the heroes went on with their lives, but they changed. They became wiser, more experienced, and stronger through their adventures in the abandoned castle. They also left part of their hearts there, for that journey changed them forever. The heroes continued their adventures and their names became known in every corner of the world. They helped others, fought evil, and solved difficult riddles and puzzles. Their fame spread far beyond their hometown, and they became legends, forever engraved in the history of their world. However, though the heroes achieved many of their goals and accomplished incredible feats, the abandoned castle remained a mystery. Its past remained a mystery, and many more have tried for years to unravel its riddles and discover its secrets. But no one could repeat the hero's exploits and uncover all its secrets, and the abandoned castle remained a mystery covered with a shroud of mysticism and intrigue. The heroes grew older, their legend faded with time, but their story has remained alive in people's hearts. Their adventures and exploits have been passed down from generation to generation, becoming part of folk legends and tales. Their names have become symbols of bravery, courage, and determination, and their story has become eternal in the memory of the people. And so ended the story of the abandoned castle and the heroes who dared to explore its mysteries. It was an exciting adventure that left a mark in history and in people's hearts. The heroes continued their adventures, but the abandoned castle always remained in their memory. They enjoyed telling their children and grandchildren about their exploits and the mysteries of the castle, passing the story down from generation to generation. Over time, the abandoned castle became a magnet for many adventurers and archaeologists. Many intrepid seekers have come to its ruins, hoping to uncover its secrets. But the mysteries of the castle remained unsolved, and many explorers faced dangers trying to unravel its secrets. One day, however, a young explorer appeared who was determined and skilled. He studied the history of the abandoned castle, studied old records and maps, and even assembled his own team of experienced adventurers. He was confident that he could solve the castle's mysteries and find its treasure. The explorer and his team set out on a dangerous journey to the abandoned castle. They faced many challenges and traps, but they didn't give up. They deciphered riddles, solved puzzles, and overcame challenges along the way. It was a long and dangerous journey, but finally the explorers reached the heart of the abandoned castle. There awaited them the last and most difficult riddle. They used all their knowledge, skills, and intuition to solve it. Finally, after many attempts, they succeeded in solving the mystery of the castle. When opened before their eyes, the abandoned castle turned out to be greater and more amazing than they could have imagined. In its depths, they found ancient treasures, long lost artifacts, and magical artifacts that possessed incredible power and strength. The explorers were amazed and fascinated by what they found. However, the castle's treasures were not safe. The explorers encountered the final obstacle, an ancient guardian who protected the castle's treasures. The battle was epic, and the explorers were on the verge of defeat. They used all their skills and determination to overcome the guardian and reach the treasure. Finally, they were able to overcome the last obstacle and reach the treasure of the abandoned castle. The treasures were far beyond their expectations. They were gems, precious metals, ancient scrolls with magical spells, and more. They were fascinated by these ancient treasures and realized that they had found not only material wealth, but also an invaluable legacy of an ancient civilization. However, the explorers realized that with such power and strength of treasure also comes great responsibility. They decided to use the treasures they found wisely and justly, not to abuse their power, and not to let them fall into the wrong hands. They also decided to use some of the treasure to restore the abandoned castle to preserve its historical value and open it to the public. The explorers came back with the treasure and the glory. Their story became legend and their exploits were passed down from generation to generation. The abandoned castle, once a place of mystery, was now restored and open to visitors who could learn its history and explore its ancient treasures. The explorer and his team became renowned archaeologists and explorers, and their findings were shared with the scientific community, leading to new discoveries and research in archaeology and history. They also used some of the treasures for charitable purposes, helping local communities, supporting scientific research and historic preservation. However, the history of the abandoned castle and its treasures was not ignored. There were those who were interested in the power and strength of these artifacts and sought to obtain them for their own selfish purposes. Soon after the discovery of the castle's treasures, rumors of attempted theft and illicit handling of the artifacts found. The explorer and his team faced dangers and threats from those who sought to seize the treasure. They organized a concerted effort with local authorities and law enforcement to protect the treasure from illegal activities. Additional security measures were implemented to preserve the integrity and preservation of the artifacts found. Over time, the abandoned castle became a pilgrimage site for researchers, historians, tourists, and curious travelers. Many people came to see the treasures and learn the history of this mysterious place. The abandoned castle became a popular tourist destination, attracting attention and benefiting the local economy. The explorer and his team continued their research and protection of the abandoned castle's treasure, seeking to harness its power and strength for the good of mankind. They conducted scientific research into the origins and properties of the artifacts they found, and used their knowledge to develop new technologies and find solutions to the world's problems. Meanwhile, the story of the abandoned castle and its treasures became known around the world. It attracted the attention of many researchers, historians, archaeologists, and adventurers who came from different countries to learn more about the mysterious history of the place and to see the treasure with their own eyes. Thanks to the efforts of the explorer and his team, and the cooperation of local authorities and law enforcement, the treasures of the abandoned castle were kept safe and guarded against illegal activities. Special security measures such as guards, video surveillance, and protective barriers were implemented to protect the artifacts from possible theft and damage. Research and study of artifacts from the abandoned castle led to many scientific discoveries and an understanding of the historical and cultural significance of these treasures. They have provided new insights into the site's past and its role in the history of the region. Some artifacts have been investigated using modern technology such as radiocarbon dating, X-rays, and other scientific methods to learn more about their ages, origins, and uses. The treasures found have also influenced scientific research in other fields such as art, religion, architecture, and the history of the region. They have been the subject of many scholarly articles, publications, and debates, contributing to a greater knowledge of the site's past and its role in history and culture. However, despite all efforts to protect and preserve the treasures of the abandoned castle, there were further threats and challenges. Uncontrolled tourism, unwanted personalities, and unauthorized visits could create risks to the preservation of artifacts and compromise the integrity of the historic site. Therefore, additional protection measures were introduced, such as restricting access, controlling visits, and educating tourists about the significance and rules of visiting the site. Over time, the abandoned castle and its treasures have become one of the main tourist attractions of the region. Many tourists from all over the world come here to see the treasures, to immerse themselves in the history and atmosphere of the past, and to enjoy the beauty of the architecture and scenery of the place. This has also contributed to the development of the tourism industry in the region and brought economic benefits to the local population. However, as the popularity of the abandoned castle grew and the number of tourists increased, there was a need for additional security and visitor management measures. Strict visiting rules were introduced, restrictions on photographing and touching artifacts were imposed, and visitor control was strengthened to minimize the risk of possible damage and theft. In addition, local authorities and organizations are concerned with the long-term preservation of the abandoned castle and its treasures. Restoration work has been done to preserve and restore historic structures and artifacts and to maintain proper storage and display conditions. Programs were also developed to educate and raise awareness about the historical and cultural significance of the abandoned castle and the need to preserve it for future generations. Thus, the history of the abandoned castle and its treasures demonstrates the importance of historical heritage, the need for its preservation and protection, and the role of science, research, and education in unlocking its mysteries and understanding the past. Thanks to the efforts of researchers, organizations, and local authorities, the abandoned castle and its treasures continue to be an important object of research and a tourist attraction. It is also a source of inspiration for many researchers, historians, archaeologists, and travelers who seek to uncover its mysteries and learn more about its history and past inhabitants. However, preserving and guarding the abandoned castle and its treasures continues to pose complex challenges. Controlling visitors, maintaining rules and restrictions, and securing financial resources for restoration, preservation, and research require constant effort.